Hello world, it's Thursday the 12th of January 2023 and we're looking at a weather forecast for Worcester for Friday the 13th of January 2023. The regional competition starts at Worcester tomorrow, as tomorrow's practice day. It will carry on for the next week, and the following week will be the Sailplane Grand Prix qualifying competition. So we'll be having weather forecasts for soaring from Worcester for the next 2 weeks or so. Looking at tomorrow, Friday the 13th, we can see that there's an inversion. It's a soft inversion, but it's keeping thermic in the valley down to about 3,000 feet. There's some wind, and we can see that wind drops off with height, and it's a northwester in the valley. Let's move on to 5 o'clock. Very similar. That drop off in height is a bit noted. The inversion is still very present and a bit stronger. Let's look at the surface wind. That seems to be the dominant thing. We can see that the wind in the valley is actually being channeled through. There's a Venturi effect in the valley, and we're getting winds up to 20 knots. But as soon as we move out of the valley, the wind drops off a lot. Below 10 knots to the east, and also to the north and further north, not much more than 10 knots. Zooming out a bit, we can see up towards Worcesterhook and east past Swellendam, still about 10 knots. Moving out to 5 o'clock, this is 1700. That wind is still gusting through the valley, but outside the valley our winds are still quite light, and the same on the big scale. We need a little bit more than 10 knots to light up the ridges at Worcester, so we will be needing some thermic energy to help us along tomorrow. And if I look at this as the height of the critical updraft strength, basically the height of thermal tops, we can see this hole over Worcester, blue hole with limited thermals. A bit further around the corner, we can see those thermals are not getting much above 4,000 feet, but to the east it's higher, but over 5,000 feet. If we zoom out, we get the same picture here. This blue stuff is around 4,000 feet, and this turquoisey is closer to 5,000, so a bit higher to the east than the west. Looking at some soundings, this is Tilbach at 2 o'clock and at 5 o'clock, and Porterville, a very similar picture at 2 o'clock. Let's have a look at it in a bit more detail. You see there's a strong inversion at 4,000 feet, a light wind below 10 knots coming from the southwest, which is actually onto the ridge, but not very strong. So the ridges will work, or may work, but they will be quite soft, and you will battle to thermal above the ridges. And at 5 o'clock we got much the same, although looking a bit cooler, and the winds coming round a lot more to the south. So by 5 o'clock, when you need to climb back from Porterville onto the Witzenberg Ridge to get home, that will be quite a tricky crossing. Looking to the east, it's a bit better. The thermals at least are a lot higher, but the wind is lighter. 5 o'clock, it's cooling off already. I'm looking at Swellendam. You should be able to thermal slightly above the ridges, picking up thermals of the tops of the koppies and the spurs and things. And conventional ridge flight down the ridge might not be that easy. And coming home, you don't want to leave it too late. I've gone out as far as Riversdale, but you can see that it's fairly consistent. In order to start flying, we will need to launch, and looking at 11 o'clock, while it would be possible to start launching quite early, we can see that the gliders will be stuck thermaling over the airfield at 3,000 feet, so which is not very productive. Looking up a bit, this increase in Wind speed with height is a clear indicator for wave, and I'm looking at the cross section at 700 millibars, which is about 10,000 feet, and you can see that there's a clear wave pattern in the upper air. If I look lower at 925 millibars, about 3,000 feet, which is where you'll be after you've released, you can see the options on to climb on Vic Peak and Ordenburg and in Jan de Tours Kloof. And if I go a bit higher, this is 850 millibars, about 4,500 feet. You'll see there's nothing doing at Vic Peak, and it's quite limited at Ordenburg, but you may be able to climb. This is wave in Jan de Tours Kloof, and that wave actually carries on all the way up to 10,000 feet. So it may be an idea to try and get into Jan de Tours Kloof and climb up and wave, and then start your task from there. Either way, it's going to be quite a tricky, slightly slower day tomorrow, but have fun for everybody who gets a chance to launch, and we will talk again tomorrow night. I will update this tomorrow morning at after 7 in the morning, probably around 8 o'clock, if there's any significant changes. Enjoy your flying and have fun.